Hello there! I am just on the corner by the Fox and Hounds Hotel on Dartmoor, and I'm going to try climbing some Tors. Today I've got with me two cameras. My old Digicam broke. I think I dropped it on the pavement a while back, and after that the zoom failed and the shutter lens cap, whatever the thing is, didn't open. So I invested in a new camera, Digicam, for stills, and that's the Sony RX100. A lot of people are using these days, and it's been pretty good so far. Doesn't have the zoom that my old Canon PowerShot, I believe it's called, had. And I'm going to use this actually to now show you what I'm using to film with. It is the same camera, but now I'm filming on the RX100 and using this for audio, and as you can see I've got a bit of a grip. It's not a steady cam, but hopefully this will stabilize some of my shots. I'm hoping, maybe not. And obviously I've now got the wind cut mic, so the wind is blowing a bit. It'll be blowing a lot more up on the Tors. Let me see if this solves some of my audio problems. Not sure yet. We'll see. Well, you'll be seeing now, but we'll see. So, where are we today? Well, up ahead is Tor, Widgery Cross, which we have been up before in a previous video. To the left of that should be Arms Tor, and a lot further along, which I'm not sure if we're going to go to today, but we will see, is Great Links Tor. So we're going to see what we can do. This is quite an interesting site right here. This is black burnt gorse on Dartmoor to keep the gorse bushes in control, which are these lovely things here. Spiky as heck, but they flower with these yellow flowers a lot of the year. I think they grow like mad, so to keep them in control, farmers do this. Or maybe it's Dartmoor Park Authority does this, I'm not quite sure who. So I'm here on my own today. I did want to call on someone I met, but I can't get through to them. And my dad's taken a few hours in work, and my brother doesn't want to come with me. He doesn't like going on buses for some reason, so I got here on the bus this time. And we are I got some maps here, and we came up here, bus let us off, we've gone around this compound. I guess we're going to come to a wall here. Kind of forms a creepy landscape, doesn't it? So I should be running parallel to a little road here. Oh, it's a track. And there's a lost Doge. Here he is. Hello, Doge. Hello. He's a bit of a frightened Doge. Okay, I think we're coming up to where the car park is. Around here, but let's go take a look over here because it's quite interesting. It's like an entire field of it. Look at this. I think it looks quite interesting. There's Arms Tor up there. I hope you can hear me. Okay, this microphone is mono, I think. So I'm not sure if I have to do something to split the audio to put it coming out of both speakers, so that might be one issue with the video until I figure it out. But yeah, when it's, I think it's directional too, so when it's facing away from me, I've tested it indoors and it seems to pick me up, but it might not pick me up out here, I don't know. But yeah, I'm past the gate now. Just came through this little tough gate here. Here we are in open moorland. I'm just going to go up here. Been up there. I think this is the track we need. Maybe? Oh no, hold on. I think we go right here actually. This is such a good track that it might be. I think there's something around here called the Rattlebrook Tramway, which is a bit like the tramway at Fog and Tor. It used to have like mining trains and things. I think that might be what that is, but I'm going to break off to the right, which looks the best decision. Should be coming up to the stream now. It's the same one we passed on the stepping stones when we went up to Dartmoor. But it's further along. Ah, look at that, that's amazing. I believe I found the name of this great orb tornado. I think it's Great Northern Hill. So it's like it's so weird, it's like the top of like a sphere or something, like a hemisphere. See if I can find a shallow bit. There we go. Not bearing Wellingtons, and it's not too deep, but it could have flooded my boots, but I guess it just takes not caring too much and not getting worried about getting a little bit wet. Of course, it would be easier if I was wearing Wellington boots. What this looks like, because I'll be coming back this way. And that up ahead is Arms Tor. Great Northern is still peeping. It doesn't look so big with the people on it. I can just make them out, so leaving. Passing some kind of standing stone here. Don't know if it's marked. Doesn't seem that far away now, but I know this next bit will be steep as. Beginning the ascent of the steep bit. I must check the ferns, because the ferns are all red during winter. They'll kind of die off and they go red or brown, and Dad thinks some of the tors, like smeared and down, are looking a lot greener now, so I'll test that theory if I find some ferns. See if I find some little baby new ones that are growing. And now I can see the bridge we crossed going up to Tor Widgery Cross. See if I can get a zoom on that. Are we sure we haven't made a terrible mistake going up this very steep slope to get up there? It's not too bad walking wise, it's just steep. No rocks and things in the way. There's some sort of meeting of rambling hikers. Yeah, that steep slope really takes it out of you. Really takes it out of you. I don't know if I'm in line with Tor yet. I think I'm lower actually. I think I'm about like down in the centre frame. I'm sort of that height in comparison. Still got a little bit to go. And there's some more rocks emerging. Might have a false top again, where you think it's the top and it's not actually. Whoa, that's cool. The Great Mist Tor, sort of in the mist, true to its name, beyond. I think Dad wants to climb that one soon. Not at the top yet, but looking cool. Down the steep slope, and it's easy to see where to go. Oh, Great Links Tor rising up. That's probably the biggest. Kind of like a three-peaked plateau over here. It's like flat on top with three peaks, similar heights to each other. Got one there. That's probably the tallest. Let's go and have a look at Great Northern for a sec. Is this like heather? sphere from most of the other sides is in fact it doesn't look like that at all from this side. What's down there? There's something beside the track. Looks interesting. Light on the viewfinder, light on the LCD screen. Yeah, there's a ridge along that track. I thought that would be flat down there, but it's kind of one big slope. I guess it's the slope of Great Links Tour, basically. And it's kind of like that, all the way across there. I thought it'd be a lot flatter. You can sort of see, I think that is the tramway. So we'll go behind the valley here. And I think that's the Sowerton Tools, or Thornton. How do you pronounce it? I say Sowerton. Over here, I think that's the Rattlebrook track or tramway. Yeah. So that's quite a good path to walk along around those hills. So there's lots I can explore here, and it took me about an hour, I guess, to walk up here. A little more than an hour. So I don't know how long it will take me to get up there, but if it's like an hour, it's a similar distance, but I think it might be easier, apart from the slope. Get up there. We're up there, there's a little Links Tour as well. Just hope it doesn't rain. Well, I'm halfway now between the two tours, and that was the easiest stretch I've done between tours so far. It's just like really easy walking. Isn't it weird how the curve of the early part of the hill hides the very top, the features at the top from me? So odd. I mean, it makes sense, but there's some part of you that says that if you're at the bottom of a big mountain hill or something, then you can see the top of a big mountain hill. But no, it kind of, there's a bow in front of you. We're going to try and keep this track thing so we don't get too lost. I think the track might vanish soon though. It's that brownie line. There is a brigade of hikers on little Links Tour. Spent a while slowly walking up this curve. We're starting to see one of the giant rocks. It's quite a clear-cut path really. I haven't seen any, well, I don't think I've seen any bogs yet. On the map it says a whole area downhill there is covered with bogs. Marshes, what's the other word for them? Mires. But we haven't run into any yet. This has been quite a straightforward path. Oh, we're so high up now. I think there's something man-made up there. I think it's a trig point. Oh, using this grip for the camera reminds me of when I used to have I think it was a Sony camera. It was a big Sony camera, it was like one of those big ones with a handle you put on your shoulder, but it was like consumer level version of that, and I had it at uni. Used it for documentaries and things, and the grip on this kind of reminds me of holding that. Hey, so weird, these granite structures from volcanic times, I guess. Oh, we got mist. Got some mist that way. Some fog or rain rolling in. Oh, you liking that? You liking it? Ah, the trig point. It's mounted on quite a high rock. Actually, that's higher than I thought it was. Let's get up there. There's the fog I was talking about. I wonder if that's coming here. Seeing as we're on the highest tour around here, I wouldn't be surprised if this was first to get covered in fog at the tip. But let's hope. fingers crossed it ain't coming here. I need to pay attention and be mindful of my surroundings. That looks a bit boggy. I need to pay attention to my surroundings. Like Liam Neeson told Christian Bale in Batman. Hey. Whoa. Yeah, they've mounted the trig point. I wonder if you can climb up there easily or not. Oh, is this boggy? The plants are going here. The plants are love the bog. Maybe, I don't know. Whoa. They're pretty huge. That's 4 or 5 times higher than a man. Man as in mankind, man includes women. Weird. How did that, like honestly, how did that get like that originally? See that? Like, and there are bits of Dartmoor where they're just like granite strewn around the ground in really odd places. Like everywhere. And they're like really heavy rocks, but they look like they've just been like, when you chuck a pile of rocks on the ground, like there must have been a period. I know Dartmoor National Park used to be a forest in like medieval times, and then they harvest the trees for the Spanish Armada. No, to fight the Spanish Armada rather, Francis Drake and such. But before that, I heard it was volcanic. But there aren't any volcanoes here to speak of, so it must be like quite a very old period of Earth. Maybe it's just like Dartmoor was created like this in the Hadean Eon, when Earth was in a tumult of just chaos and lava, and you know, all the geology was being formed, and the seas were only just being formed. Perhaps that's when all this crap happened, and it's just stayed here so long and got weathered down by wind. It could be wind. A geologist can come into my comments and tell me what I'm missing. I believe I can see our last trip from here, Hair Tor. That's it, isn't it? I think it is. Oh, I'm screwing this up. We're looking at it from a rather weird angle. There's the weird Tor in front of it that's between us and there, but the second peak of Hair Tor is on this side, and the big peak's on that side, whereas normally we see it from the other side. Which one is that? Can you see that? Hey, that's Widgery Cross, is it not? Yeah. Yeah, it's weird seeing it from that angle. It always looks so tall from the road. So, when you see this Tor, well, when you're on the road and you're heading southward from Plymouth up towards Oakhampton, and you pass these three, and by three I mean the one I've just shown you, Widgery Cross Brat Tor, has a cross on it. It looks like the biggest. Are the firing flags up? Sorry, I'm hearing it's either horse hooves or gunfire, but I haven't seen any red firing flags anywhere, so how can it be military training? So yeah, what was I saying before I got interrupted by hooves or gunfire? When you're on the road from Plymouth to Oakhampton and you pass these three Tors, and by these three I mean Widgery Cross Brat Tor, which I've just shown you, has the cross on it, and then Arms Tor, which was the first I've been up, and now I'm up on Great Links Tor. They look like they're like a row of three, so right to left, Brat Tor, Arms Tor, Great Links Tor. But because of the perspective, Brat Tor, Widgery Cross looks like the biggest, and also it's got the cross on top. So It's really weird because this is obviously, when you actually look at the actual height of this tor, it's really quite high up. Speaking of height, over in that direction, and I'm not actually sure whether I can see it or not. So we're now looking like north, and somewhere over there, and I'm not sure if it's that tor right in front of us, will be High Willhays and Yes Tor. And there's not too much height difference apparently between the two, but High Willhays is the highest point in South England below the Brecon Beacons in Wales. So High Willhays is one I want to climb up, and that's quite close to Oakhampton actually. And I was surprised to find that that's actually the highest tor on Dartmoor. So I'm definitely going to go up that one at some point. I don't know if it's that one though. Also down here you've got the tramway, I think. It kind of looks like it's on a ridge of a hill here. There's some mystery blocks down there. Where are they? Here? Daylight on the LCD. What is that large flat white thing? Okay, I'm going to try and find it. Is that? No, this. What the heck is that? It's in sunlight, but it looks like a big long white spaceship has just landed in that field temporarily. Don't you think? Like a friggin' Star Wars spaceship. So it's 3 o'clock. Roundabouts, it's almost 3 o'clock. Which means, well, I've been hanging around here, but it took less than an hour to get from Arms Tor to here. That's interesting. You see how that's like steps on this side? That's a weird shape. Slope. So what's that one then? There's one tor quite near to us before you hit a river, which I think is Rattlebrook, which combines with the Tavy before it enters Tavistock. And the tor that, if you go this way, is before that river, is called Goat, which is some of these tors just have the most ridiculous sounding names to me. Now that's okay, that's something I didn't expect to find on Dartmoor. To be honest, I really didn't expect to see that. Just you know, a blue JCB in the middle of the moor. Just, you know. This is what those diggers were doing, I think. Peatland restoration. Some environmentalist thing. Our work will enable the bog to retain water, with benefits for wildlife, flood alleviation. So there's a third rock here, and there's a gap between them as well. I think there's actually a line of rocks, so there might be a few more. Ah, what a nice clear view of Hare Tor there. Don't need the wind cut mic for this bit because we're completely sheltered and there is like zero wind right here between these two rocks. It's amazing. You just stand by a fairly small rock and all the wind that's lashing you will just vanish. Oh, they're getting sunshine on Hare Tor. Let's see if there's a line of these rocks. there's a line of them. Be careful on this side. So this is what I saw when I was on Smearden Down. A line of huge rocks on the horizon, each one kind of as big as a house or bigger. Sorry to bring out the Star Wars quotes, but now there are 2 of them! So from the centre of the Tor, the mist is rolling in now, so I'm going to start heading back, I think. See what else I can see lower down. Oh, I didn't notice that. It's a little rock cavern, like a little shelter. It's ideal, really. I'm on the lower down rocks. Yep, that mist is rolling in. Not gonna see much soon.